I'm the host. Let me just stand on existing protocol. Good morning to you all. Today is a very important day. For the first time, I'm going to attend the program, and I never thought about any other thing from home on the road till the program. But I'm just beginning to think about what is going to happen at the program, because this sub-region is suffering from what we call terrorism, violent extremism. And as we sit today in this particular room, I'm sure if you are that security background, you begin to are you safe? You begin to imagine, are you safe in this room for the next 2 hours? How sure are you that you are safe? I came here very early because I wanted to be sure that I'll be safe sitting here. So I did a lot before coming in here. So be rest assured that you are safe until you get out of here. I must appreciate the organizers for this program. It is timely. The time couldn't have been better right than now. I will do a bit of background on the topic. I will give you some symptoms to show you that in Ghana, we really need to reform our security sector. I'll go straight away to talk about the role of Parliament in this dream of reforming Ghana's security sector. And I will just do some brief conclusion on the matter. Security sector reform is generally defined as a process of transforming the security sector to strengthen accountability, effectiveness, and respect for human rights and the rule of law. It aims to enhance security sector governance through the effective and efficient delivery of security under conditions of democratic oversight and control. The need for reforms in Ghana's security sector is behind time. I say it is behind time because from 1957 to 1992, we've had the First Republic, the Second Republic, and the Third Republic, all summing up to about 15 years. The rest of the years in the 35-year period from 1957 to 1992, we were under military dictatorship. So 20 years of military dictatorship, and the longest was actually from 1981 to 1992, 11 years. And right after this military dictatorship, we moved straight into the Fourth Republic democracy. We adopted the 1992 Constitution. And I've always said, moving from military rule to democratic rule requires some deliberate effort to reforming the security sector to be a par with democratic tenets. If you don't do that, and you carry a military mentality of policing, you carry a military mentality of an immigration officer, you carry a militarized brain into a democratic setting, you, of course, be working very hard, doing the best that you can, but all of a sudden you realize that the citizens will not be impressed. They will not be impressed because you are not democratic enough. So Ghana's security sector reform is lacking behind time 28 years. We should have done this in 1992. But as I've been saying, ladies and gentlemen, better late than what? Never. We will try the best that we can to ensure that Ghana's security is put in shape. There is something that happened that I want to share with you. Some brief indicators that I want to show, some symptoms for you to realize that it is time for us to reform. And that time actually had expired many years ago, but we have to do it now. When you find demonstration being policed by lethal force, the police are going out there to provide security for demonstrators, enjoying their democratic right, their constitutional right. And they carry with them AK-47 rifle with live bullets. It tells you we need to do something about that. And it tells you the police is need some kind of reforms to appreciate the fact that you don't go policing demonstration with lethal ammunition or lethal weapons. You don't go policing demonstration with intent to kill. Because if you carry a weapon with live bullet, what is it for? You are supposed to use it. And if you are using it, what is it for? It is supposed to kill. Are you supposed to kill demonstrators? Of course, no. If you look at what is happening recently, anytime you see military brutality in a democracy, it tells you there is something wrong. In my own constituency, a young man who is unemployed decided to be very innovative, established a car washing bay. The soldiers went there to wash their car, and that is where they've been washing their vehicle, of course. And the young man said, because of our relationship, we are here to provide security. Instead of you paying 15 cedis per wash, I am going to give you a discount. So always pay 10 cedis. The soldiers said, okay, no problem. Just wait a minute, we are coming. They took the car back to their barracks, dressed up in full military uniform, came back, picked the young man, took him to the barracks, and beat him to pulp. And the next question that came, if you see a military car next time, will you wash and collect money? The young man, out of fear, said, no, sir, I will not do that. If you see some of this, it tells you for 28 good years in the Fourth Republic, we should be learning something new. This cannot happen in a democracy. What it means is that there is something still militarized in the head that says that you can enjoy impunity without being punished. But that is not true. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Defense and Interior is following that matter, and we are working seriously. If you look at what happened in Nigeria, what happened in Nigeria is just a symptom of the challenges the security sector faces that requires reforms. Soldiers and police were both deployed. Who is in charge? Nobody can say. But all of a sudden, 2 people are dead. Who is being held responsible? Nobody can say. We have spent money, right, to form the Justice Commission Committee. They've done the investigation, they submitted the report. Imagine the amount of money that we have spent on that particular matter, because something unprofessional has happened. Something untoward took place. There is such security gap, and that gap must be blended and covered over time. That is what we talk about reforms. If you watch the video recently from WA, when I saw it, I thought we were in Afghanistan or probably in Somalia. The first day I saw the video, I was like, no, what's happening? Is that an old video? Probably during the days of military rule. They said, no, this was fresh. And it's not coming from anywhere. It's actually coming from your own background, your back door, your region. It was coming from what? The capital town of the Upper West region. And I said, is there a conflict? I thought that the people were misbehaving and the soldiers went down there to teach them a lesson, as we say. Show them a bit of discipline and let them conform to normalcy. No, it wasn't the people who were doing anything. The military just went in there to brutalize innocent civilians. And that was unacceptable. These are all signs to tell us that we need to do something about our security sector. A police officer is struggling inside a moving vehicle to snatch the vehicle key from the driver. The car is on the move. And the police officers in the car struggling with the driver to take off the key, all in an effort to enforce the law. When you see some of these things, it's quite embarrassing. It dents the image of the Ghana Police Service, but it goes to show that we need to do something new and something different and something quickly. Look at what is happening. You find a Ghana Fire Service officer, Ghana National Fire Service. There is fire. And the fire service officers are invited, or the Ghana National Fire Service is invited, and they arrive at the scene of fire without water. They arrive at the scene of fire in a taxi. If you see some of these signs, it tells that there is a need for us to do some reforms in this country. When armed robbers or soldiers in the internal security space, when you find armed soldiers in the internal security space, the police are challenged, they are stretched beyond limit, they invite the army to come in to support. But anytime you find that the army is staying on or in the internal security space for too long a time, there is a challenge. They are not supposed to take over internal security space. They are supposed to be the last backstop. They're supposed to be the last point in the security structure, that when things get worse, we call on the army to step in. But if you find them with that all the time, it tells you there is a problem and we need to resolve that. There is something I want to share with you quickly before I go to parliamentary role. In 1974, the Ghana Police Force changed its name to the Ghana Police Service. It's just changed in nomenclature. But they missed the point. Moving from a force to the service, you're required to do some deliberate transformation of the minds of the police officer. He's a force man. And you said, today, you say, go and provide a service. You need a different brain to provide a service, and you need a different brain to enforce laws and to be able to be a force man. So from force to service is a huge gap that requires some transformation. We did nothing about that. We enjoyed the nomenclature. And I think that in this country, we realize that nomenclatures are something we enjoy so much. We just change names, but they don't mean anything. Ladies and gentlemen, after the coming into force of 1992 Constitution, Parliament in 1994 decided to enact the Public Order Act, Act 491 of 1994. Why? Because they felt that the freedom that were guaranteed under the Constitution were so expressive and people were enjoying it, but they were enjoying it without realizing that they had responsibilities. So Parliament passed that law to ensure that you have the freedom, you have the right to enjoy your freedom, but you are also responsible for something. That law remained in the books and has been in the books from 1994 up to date. But you know what? It was only in 2014 that one Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan, came and realized that, no, you cannot enforce this law using live bullets. And he went back to the police training school and converted the armor car squadron, a relic of coup d'etats, a relic of military rule. He converted that to the formed police unit and took them to Kwalugu, converted that school into a public order training school and trained them to become what? Public disorder management specialists. And that is why in Ejura, when we didn't see them there enough to be able to deal with that situation, it became an embarrassment. There is something we have to do as a country. Straight away to what Parliament can do. Parliament in itself has 3 thematic areas to look at: legislative power, oversight, and the last but not the least is representative. When you talk about legislation, we pass laws. Oh yes, Parliament is passing the law. Are the laws working? We don't know. You pass the law and you sit back. What I expect Parliament to be doing towards this new reform is that when you pass a law, please make sure that the implementation is apt. If the implementation is challenged and you think that it's because of the nature of the law, can we look at the law again? Laws must work in this country for our democracy to be meaningful. If we are passing laws and the laws are many and they are not working, the rule of law cannot be said to be working enough. So when you look at legislation, as I say, what laws are we actually passing? The law that grounds the Ghana Police Service, for instance, Act 350, 1970. I'm sure it's older than every police officer in the Ghana Police Service now. The law is even older than our constitution. Is there something we can do about that law? Because times have changed. The world is changing, and so must policing also change. The fundamental law, can it be tampered with? The fundamental law, can it be reviewed? Can we look at it properly? Let me move to representation. Democracy is all about representation. We have 275 constituencies in Ghana. So if you are going into recruitment and you are saying that the police must be representative, the armed forces must be representative, and I am an MP representing over 100,000 people in my constituency with over 53,000 voters, and you finish the recruitment and there is no single soldier from my constituency, how representative is that? You finish the recruitment and there is not a single police officer from my constituency, how representative is that? So in that representative spirit, we will pray that we should have structures in place to ensure that everything about security, as much as we agree that security is a collective responsibility, we should also collectively enjoy what is available before we come and suffer what the pain is. The last one on Parliament is the fact that Parliament has an oversight responsibility. The Defense and Interior Committee plays oversight over the Minister of Interior, Minister of National Security, Minister of Defense, the NIB, and all that. All of that, we have to ensure that they do what is right. But what is so important for me, with my few days in Parliament, you go in there and realize that they brought the budget. We have to endorse the budget. And after endorsing the budget, who follows up? There was something I learned during the budget review. For instance, 1 million Ghana cedis is approved for a particular organization or a particular agency. And Parliament approves it. At the end of the financial year, you got to realize that the report comes to say, in fact, actually 500,000 was released. So you approve a budget of 1 million for a particular security agency. The government actually goes to release only half of that. And you expect the security agency to perform to optimum. It doesn't happen anywhere. And even the 1 million that was approved, for instance, probably just about 30% of the total budget requirement of that particular institution. So the 30% is not even provided. At the end of the day, what is released is far, far less. If there is no money, how can security be effective?
All right. So, Honorable Toobu, I would like to end us on that for the moment. Thank you very much, Honorable Peter Toobu.